How to complete the financial aid verification worksheet. This presentation will help you get it right the first time. Students are randomly selected by the Department of Education or by the school for verification. Verification means that the financial aid office must check certain answers on your FAFSA for accuracy. You are required to complete a verification worksheet for this process. A financial aid specialist will compare your answers on the FAFSA and on your forms. If any corrections need to be made to your FAFSA, we will make those for you. There are 5 different verification groups. Each group is required to provide different information. This means there are 5 forms for independent students and 5 forms for dependent students. The following instructions will show how each section of all forms should be completed. You may not have all of the sections in this presentation on your form, but this will show you how to complete the ones that you do have correctly. Be sure that you print the correct verification worksheet for you. The form number was emailed to you and is in WebAdvisor under My Documents. The first section of the form is Students' Information. Please be sure to complete all fields on this section of the form. Also, please note that changing your address on this form does not change it school-wide. If you have moved, please update your address with the Registration and Records Office as soon as possible. Most verification forms require that you list people in your household. This household is for an independent student. You should list yourself first, list your spouse if you're married, list any children if you provide more than 50% of their financial support, and then list any additional people who currently live with you and you provide more than 50% of their financial support and will continue to do so through June 2015. If you financially support other people who are not your spouse or children, you should be prepared to provide documentation detailing the support that you provide at a later time. Please note, if you or your spouse is paying child support for someone, that information will be requested later, and the child you're paying for support for should not be included on this portion of the form. If you are a dependent student, you will list yourself first and your parents. Provide the same parent name or names that you used on the FAFSA. If your parents live in the same household but are not married, you should still list both. List any other children that your parents provide more than 50% of the financial support for. Then list any other people who currently live with your parents and your parents provide more than 50% of their financial support and will continue to do so through June 2015. If your parents financially support other people, they should be prepared to provide documentation detailing the support that they provide at a later time. Please note, if one of your parents is paying child support for someone, that information will be requested later, and the child they are paying support for should not be included on this portion of the form. Most students selected for verification will also be required to provide tax information. Check the first box if you have already used the IRS data retrieval tool on FAFSA. Check the second box if you didn't use the data retrieval tool but are planning to do so. Instructions for using the IRS data retrieval tool are available on the form. It is highly recommended that students use this tool if possible. If you cannot use the data retrieval tool, you must attach a copy of your IRS tax return transcript. You can obtain your tax return transcript online or request one to be mailed to you. If you and your spouse did not file a tax return, you will complete the non-filer section. Check the first box if you and your spouse did not work at all. If you or your spouse worked but were not required to file taxes, check the second box. List all employers, the exact amount earned, and attach all W-2s. If you are a dependent student, you will also have to provide your parents' tax information. Check the first box if your parents used the IRS data retrieval tool. Check the second box if they didn't use the data retrieval tool but are planning to do so. Again, it is highly recommended that your parents use the tool. If they cannot use the IRS data retrieval tool, you must attach a copy of your parents' IRS tax return transcript. They can obtain their tax return transcript online or request one to be mailed to them. If your parents did not file a tax return, they will complete the non-filer section. Check the first box if your parents did not work at all. If your parents worked but were not required to file taxes, check the second box, list all employers, the exact amount earned, and attach all W-2s. Most students will also have to provide information about SNAP benefits and if any child support was paid. If anyone in your household received SNAP benefits, formerly called food stamps, any time during 2012 or 2013, please check the first box. If you are a dependent student, you would also check this box if anyone in your parents' household received SNAP. For independent students, if you or your spouse paid child support in 2013, please list that information in question 2. If you are a dependent student, please list any child support paid by your parents in question 2. Only students in the V6 group will have to complete this section regarding untaxed income. Dependent students should complete both columns of this table. Independent students will just have to complete the student section. You should put an answer in each blank, even if the answer is 0. Students in the V4 and V5 verification groups will have to complete these next 2 sections. The first is verification that you have completed high school and that the college has an official high school transcript on file. Please check one box regarding how you plan to provide your transcript. Check the first box if you have already submitted an official high school transcript to admissions. In most cases, if you have not already done so, you will have to submit the official high school or GED transcript before aid can be awarded. Students in V4 and V5 groups will also have to verify their identity and complete a statement of educational purpose. This should be done in person in the financial aid office. You will print your name, list Wake Tech as your school, and sign and date the form. Someone in the financial aid office will also sign and date. You must provide a copy of your government-issued photo ID. This form must be delivered in person. You cannot fax or email this form. If you are a distance student and cannot appear in the financial aid office, you may have the form notarized and mail it along with a copy of your government-issued photo ID. Just be sure you don't sign it before you meet with the notary, as they have to witness your signature. Correct completion of this form will save time and will allow your financial aid award to be processed faster. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our office. We are here to help.